But I am saying you can house children from 3 months to 6 years here. Or minimum 5 when they go to primary school. And who says in the space of 3-4 years you cannot have a primary session where you just gradually transition into? Now, the Montessori system of education is a vertical system of education that is not age graded. You know, in the conventional school, you have age 1 in class. Or no, don't let's do age 1. Age 1 is not yet in the class. Age 3 in the class, we call them nursery 1. Age 4, nursery 2. And then by 5, now, by 5, they are already primary 1. Isn't it? But what the system can offer parents is that your child can be here, will know what they're teaching them out there in the conventional school, and will know better, such that no parent who have their child or children here will be satisfied going to just any school for their children. And so it is parents who will begin to sensitize us. Hey, in the primary, don't let's take our children out. I think we like this case. One thing that we work for here is that you have a serene environment. You have a godly environment. Now, if there's anything that parents are looking for now, it's godly environment. Because we all know what the world has become. And so people are willing to pay for a godly school. And that's why today you have parents who are struggling. They have their children in mission schools and they are trying to pay their boarding fees. I am amazed each time I see parents who I know are struggling. They have their children in deeper life secondary school. Do you know how much they pay? Over $500,000 per term. But one thing that works for them is the godliness. You find unbelievers looking for such schools. Let's just put our children in Baptist schools, in Anglican, in not public Anglican schools, public Baptist schools. They're looking for a place. And one thing that preschool, godly preschool education does is to set children on the right path early in life, such that the parents are aware that their children are getting the best educationally and spiritually. And you have that already working for you. Plus, and most importantly, the structure. You can look at the hall and say it's just a hall. Well, I'm happy to tell you that the Montessori system of education does not work with classrooms. We do hall because we have children 2.5 to 6 years in the same place. And that is why you can, initially I said you will spend money, but it will bring money. It will bring money because it will attract a crop of people, certain class of people is what it will first appeal to. And then when the middle class, so to speak, I'm sorry to use that word, begins to see that what school is so child going to? I said, it's Baptist. Oh no, awesome. Are you getting me? Although it is not to say that you will not be so exorbitant that parents will not be able to afford it, but it will be able to run itself. If it can run itself, you have done well. The management has done well. And there's no way a school can run itself. It will make profit. And then staff members are challenged to increase either the population. But you know the thing with Baptist name is that where that name is mentioned, there's a natural attraction. And so there won't be a struggle of trying to populate the school. Because we have Baptist churches, although most Baptist churches already have schools. But the distinguishing factor will be go to Baptist Theological College, they do it differently. And that will be the selling point, the saving point. Okay, so before she comes in, let's all put our phone aside. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking to us about the environment. You know, I've started in that regard to say that you have what you have already is is enough to work for you. Now, I intend to talk about the environment and to challenge those who work here. When, let me use myself as an example. I said I never wanted to be like the kind of teacher my mom was. She's retired now. And one thing I told myself from the school, I didn't know how, I did not have the exposure. But I told myself that those who teach in international schools went to the same university as I did. So I will do all I can to get into a proper international school. Not just the ones that would write the Yogo International College. And then there is no international curriculum, no international school. Because really what qualifies a school to be international is you must have a foreign child. You should, put an could have a foreign child. It might even be from Ghana. It doesn't have to be white. But you know, a lot of us are not exposed to that. Just see we're an international school. So I told myself, whatever it will take, I will find the right school where I will teach. But when I came, as I was coming out of service here, my church employed me as the head of school in Lagos. So what do I do? So I started looking for training opportunities. I started attending one-week course, training here and there. Until a member of my church told me she did Montessori education. I said, I've been looking for, because at that time I saw it in Ghana. And I said, okay, maybe I should go to Ghana to study it. Initially I said, if the school will transition, will be transformed, we will spend money. The same with personal or professional development. If you want to develop yourself personally, you spend money. How do you develop yourself? You choose to do it way a different hairstyle. You choose a different type of shoe. You just decide, this is how I want to appear anywhere I go. It will cost you money, isn't it? The same thing with professional development. If you are not ready to, willing to spend, you will not develop professionally. And it won't take you above certain level of class, so to speak. So I started doing courses. Just for myself, I wasn't even thinking about it promoting me or anything until I heard about Montessori education. I said, oh, where did you do it? She said, somebody like me who had come for the training in an international school is training. So I said, I will opt for the international training and not get trained under a Nigerian who has been trained. So I found that, of course, Nigerians trained me, but it was with MMI London. First, when I found out their costs, I said, I cannot afford it. But I went back home and I told my husband, I said, I want to do it. He said, that's a lot of money. I said, oh, I said, you will pay. He said, you will pay. And he said, okay, go and find that. It was £2,000. It's still £2,000. I know pounds is more expensive than Naira, plus Naira, because we pay to the school, pay some other fees, exam fees in pounds, sterling. So I paid. And I spent money to develop myself so I can enter where I feel like I want to belong. Naturally, if you did education, you just come out and look for a school and start teaching. I said, no, I want it to be different. Coupled with the calling into children's ministry, I saw the need to start training. So I needed to get trained, to get certified as a trainer. So you never stop spending money. And if the college is going to go for the Montessori education that I know best to teach you to do and start, you will spend lots of money. Lots of money. Because to even train a staff is a lot of money. And you must be able to pay the person appropriately for them to be satisfied. A lot of people in Lagos now go for the Montessori training from people like us who you still pay in Naira. Because you cannot enter a school with a Montessori certification and your salary will be less than 80,000. So people are also thinking about getting more money. You can't negotiate below that. you shouldn't, as a school owner, negotiate below. So the certification is important, and it's something a lot of people are struggling to get now. Incidentally, there's a school in Oyo that I see online regularly who says they are Montessori, but I don't know. Until if I enter the premises, I will say, okay, maybe this is a Montessori school. Let me pass this video around of my setup, and it is not yet done. Let me give one test. In fact, there is only a good only maybe you want to have good, others can do that. That's my, I know it's a hub if you look at it, and it's not like Apple. Maybe not even up to Apple here. Anyways, that's about that. But for you, you must desire, you must have a desire. You must have a desire. If you don't have a desire, you can't succeed in anything. If catering works for Mr. Shalapi, let her go ahead if that's where her passion is. But if you don't have a desire, if you are just here because everybody in your town, this is how to dress, they dress to work, oh, this is how me too I'll be dressing. If you don't have a desire about yourself, if you don't have a desire about your lifestyle, your future, you may not do well. And it may be a waste of resources training such people. Mommy, because if this place is going to transition, they will train people. And if they train, it's an investment in individuals. And if you're not living to that investment, it's like a waste of investment. So there must be a desire, there must be a passion, there must be a drive inside of you. How you come to work, how have you added to your knowledge, how do you intend to deal with children, how do you want all of these children that you're looking at, they have certain uniqueness. If this were a full training, you would hear some amazing things that you will be blessed to say, for example, those of you who are still single, you'll be blessed to say, I knew this before I got into marriage. So you are going to work with that perspective with your own child or your own children. Are you getting me? And then you're able to deal with children with their unique. One beautiful thing about Montessori, I said the other time, I will leave time for questions. I said the other time that 2.5 and 6 will be in the same class. You must be wondering how that is going to be. That's because as a teacher, I must know each one of them because I'm teaching them individually. I'm not putting them to, there will be group lessons. But group lessons are very few. Because I'm going to deal with you as a child. I'm going to teach you. And I'm taking notes as I'm teaching you. Such that when you have parents' money, and parents come and you are telling them about their child, they will tell you, you know my child. That's because I'm dealing with you as an individual and your child as an individual. I know his weaknesses. I know what he's struggling with in language. I know what he's struggling with in math. I know what he's struggling with in cultural. And cultural has biology, geography, and botany stuff under it. Of course, you're not going to be saying, I'm going to teach geography. That's not how we do it. Are you getting me? So you have it is so unique because it's professional. Sorry, I'm disturbing your. Maybe you should let it be high. I prefer to stand.
All right.
Really, I prefer to stand. Okay, so it's a unique method of education that I tell people that when you have it running, it's going to work for you. There is a primary training, there is a secondary training. But I am content with the preschool. And that's why I stopped at the age of 6. If I were to have a school in primary, if I were to have a primary school, I would look for someone who is trained in primary education. That's because it is a hub, and I'm teaching you as an individual. So I know your weakness, I know your strength, I know areas. I even know whether you're a special needs child before the diagnosis is made. I can tell that this child might have this, although I have no right as a teacher to call a child an autistic child, to call a child even cerebral palsy that you can see. I have no right because I'm not a medical person. I can say the child has cerebral palsy. I won't do that. You shouldn't do that. But you can advise a parent to go check, to go check their child. After I taught a child, a 4-year-old child, colors for 1 year, yellow, blue, and red, and the child didn't get it for 1 year. I wrote in his report to my head teacher that he's colorblind. She called me. I said, I have no right. I said, no, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you for you to recommend it for checkup because the school organizes and it's optional. So if you notice your child is struggling, we call in psychoeducational analysts. People who come and check. Maybe they say, if your child has ADHD, those are things that will attract people. Because a child is struggling, the parents are beating him, the teacher in school is beating him. But the child has a problem. And nobody is paying attention to that. At the end of the day, you say, oh, you're lowering weight. No. You know, those are other specialized trainings. But I'm saying the Montessori system of education can give you a clue to if a child is struggling and what you can do. Because there are even checklists that you can do, checking every child to see what the need might be for this child. And having tried all, then within the year you recommend for examination. So that's about you. Now about the environment. You have beautiful environment for yourself. But in the Montessori system of education, we have what we call the prepared environment. And did you see my environment? My environment is not fully set up. Because in my environment, I intend for flowers to live in that environment. Plants, where the child can engage in plant cleaning the leaves and plants as they grow. So the environment is key. The environment is key. This is a beautiful place, but the environment you have here, you have not created any environment. This place. Beautiful hall, painting, top notch, the floor is good. But if I'm a new parent and I'm coming here, if you are having my kind of parent, I pay attention to little details. I'm coming in and I see cobwebs outside. It's already, personally, it puts me off. And who says you are not going to have parents like that, who have that mindset that when I'm going to put my child, should be top notch when it comes to cleanliness. But if you don't have the staff, enough staff to do it, I'm not blaming the school, I'm just saying that the environment is key. There's what we call the prepared environment. And the grace of God, this time tomorrow, or tomorrow evening when you come here, you entering here, you should be able to say, I will tell somebody to bring their child. Because the environment is different. This is the kind of environment a child should be in. Just by making the environment beautiful. Now, as you go on, I will encourage us to look for indoor plants and put in. Not just for decoration, but the plants are therapeutic. Because plants does something to the air. Madam is shaking her head. What does it do to the air? I'm learning. Oh, you are learning me, you are shaking your head. Okay, so the plant, I will just use the normal language. Purifies the environment. Thank you. It purifies the environment such that you will not know the extent of dust you are sniffing in here. You will not know. But if you have indoor plants, they have a way of absorbing it in order to reduce. So you talk to, who are these people that do plants? Horticulturists. They give you plants that you can put indoor. That's not to say I can't over the better or the dustbin. That's because you can tell the child to wet the plant every day. as an activity. You can tell the child at the age of 3 and a half to clean the leaves. That's an activity. You can tell the child to watch the plants grow. It's an activity. That is to say that when a new parent enters or an old parent, they know their child is coming in daily to get something out of them. It's not just coming to sleep. The moment parents see that it's not an environment to sleep and chop, things will change naturally. Even if they know that you do not have trained personnel yet, it's not a sleep and I think that is also covered. I don't know if you have time to. Do you have time to? For the day. You should have. Even if it is Bible time. You put it at maybe 9 a.m. when you are sure every parent would have brought their child. And then you have separate time, teach the Bible, sing song. Because it's a Christian environment. That's one chance that Muslims don't let pass. Muslims don't let it pass. From this age, what in body from so why can't she begin to hear Jesus loves me song? Or John 3:16, or God so loved the world, open for his age group. She doesn't need to learn the entire verse. So that's something that we can work together on. We can work together on. I help schools do their papers, accept, although it comes at a fee, but I'm going to be very lenient because I want this. You have a very beautiful place going for you. Anyways, that's just my view. So the environment is key. And the environment includes the people that work in it. A new baby, you can go ahead and attend to her. Is she a parent? If she's an intended parent, includes the people that work in it. You won't believe that when I was serving in my church school, because I served in my church school, which was why they felt comfortable to employ me as the head of school after. So I served. And the reason why a parent came to make noise. Noise! You know how, mommy, you know difficult parents now. But you see, I tell people when a parent is fighting on behalf of their child, you can't blame them. You don't know their story. That's what I tell staff. You don't know their story. Because a woman can tell you how many IVF she did before you saw that. So, only our wali to wá tó fa ọmọlápá àsọ̀rọ̀. What she can tell you, I waited 15 years. What she never had anything that day of delivery last 9 months here. Woman had to do a leg. She won't listen. Why did this woman make noise? Grandma Lama, we call her grandma in the creche. She backed her child. Emma, we feel she never come. She get home. Issue on my way, the skin issue. She's a parent. You don't know her story. And it's better that's the only child she's ever had. Only cream to look for. The kind of diaper she uses, maybe at that time, imported. But she has a right to challenge the school. Because we go on what school one home. Even I would challenge it. I may not make noise. And I will say, please don't worry about it. Even our mothers, woman sọ pé wọ́n máa ní nǹkan tó máa lọ́jà máa ń ṣe sẹ́sẹ̀ wọn tó àpọ̀jù bá ti wà nílé tó bá ti pọ̀ jù. Ìyẹn àwọn ìyá wa nínú ọgbọ́n tí wọ́n. But if you have, my own question professionally is if you have 5 children and are crying at the same time, if you back one, you go back to the next. Or married. When was getting school. When I just come and show face, I say, come and wait my door. And I could see that one will see me. I was if I want to go, you don't even. That's because the school is a school. No matter what you choose to call it, it's supposed to foster independence. And that's what the Montessori system of education is about. Independence. And that's why we have practical life, where the child can clean by himself, open and closing exercise. You want to drink water, open your bottle yourself. I showed you how to open it yesterday. But you know, as adults, even as parents, we are afraid of letting our children do things because we don't want them to mess up. Ká má bàa lulẹ̀, gbálẹ̀. So ọmọ ọdún mẹ́ta a ṣì ń fìdí ẹ̀. Ìyá ọmọ adára ẹ̀sìn sílẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló tó padà sílẹ̀ kó ṣáà. Kó gbà. That's what the school should prepare the child as an independent child at school and at home. So that no way I can do it myself. Maria Montessori said, whatever you never do for a child, what you can do for yourself. If I show you how to lace your shoe, I will know you didn't get it because I will ask you to do it. I will show you another time. I will write home from school to say, please encourage him to lace his shoe out. You will do it again. At some point, you shouldn't come to me to say you want to lace your shoe. I want to lace it. And if you don't lace it, you won't go for outdoor. And I won't beat. I tell people, I say, I will never beat him. I stand bold to say that in my 24 years of service. Another person can beat me. But if you are in the school environment, I won't beat you. Because you are here to learn, you can beat you. But I will give you things that when you do it, you will tell me you have known how to do it. Not wickedly. Not as an because there's an only as young as a child is, have an agreement with the child. I will let you go only when you finish. If you don't finish it, you will not. And I will stand by it. That's how so the environment is key, and we call it the Montessori such that a child comes into class today. He knows where this is, probably this is here. He knows where this is. Every of these items have their spaces around. You're taking the child has seen it. The child knows how to work with it. The thing with children is they are so obedient. No matter how wrong they are obedient. If you are not showing you this material, if I don't show you how to use it, you don't go there. Instead, you come and meet me. Miss Ola, please, can you show me how to use that material? And then I look at you, how old are you? No, you can't use it yet. Or if I see the child is ready, let's cover the material. Okay, I can show you. Then I will show you. That's when you can start working with the material. So it's an environment that is prepared such that I've shown these are for babies, these are not materials. These are for babies to just get this, they are not materials. But this is a very beautiful material. However, it's not for it's for ages maybe 3.5 going on 4. Because by 3.5 going on 4, a child here should start reading if you do the Montessori system of education. And I tell people, when a parent is just coming in, you go whoever is in charge here will do it to the parents so that they are not coming and they are expecting me to give your child assignment. In a Montessori environment, there is no paperwork in the ideal. But because we are in Nigeria, we start giving paperwork. But we give it once or twice a week. And the parents must know. We'll go to your home. So we educate parents from time to time on how to do it. So the two things I told us today is personal, professional development, and the environment, the prepared environment. So that the child comes in, goes straight to the material, carries it. Okay, so I brought some materials. Because Ms. Olalere showed me the shelves. So I went and bought some materials. These are materials. These are materials. And then I brought this from home. And I brought this. So, mommy, when I said we will spend money, it's good money. What you saw in my video, what you saw is not less than 1.6 million. I'm telling you, and I've been buying those materials over time. The dollar told that buy it to know 1.2 raw material from the US for the car. So you have your classroom and you have things like this in your classroom. And then you get to wonder, two things to emphasize for those who are just starting is practical life. We have 5 curriculum areas in Montessori education. We have practical life, we have language, we have math, we have cultural. Under cultural, the geography, biology, both in one. We have cultural, and then we have one more, sensorial. Sensorial. Okay? So we have trays in class. So the child comes, there's only age. There are ages to it. And then in the Montessori prepared environment, there are real objects. My alpha will endure for none. Who says? Who says? Children can be careful. At least I've worked with them over years, and I know they can be careful. So the child carries the material. This is a spoon. The child carries it, and that's how it's going to be on the shelf. I've shown him how to use it. He can go there at any time, unless it is not time for activities. Maybe it's circle time, maybe it's Bible time. Nobody is working at this time. We're all here for Bible time. We're here for circle time. So please put back your materials and let's come together. Or it's outdoor time, or it's lunch time. Because I don't know what they think. They tell you they are not eating, they have to eat. Because it's one of the rules. And then the child carries it. Because he has been told to carry our old to his body. That's the only way the child will not fall over. So he has learned how to carry an empty tray. That's how he starts. That's one of the things he starts. And then he moves around the class. That's an exercise. So Tebashi Lomo Te show, don't you like? Only lost the next lesson. Oh, only more the next lesson. Any teacher is not going to the next lesson because he cannot carry the. So it could be, it could be a physiological problem. It can be that there's something wrong with the body. That's why I said Montessori has a way of showing you some deficiencies or disabilities. She might not be able to grip. And if they can't grip, then you recommend to the head teacher for the child to take him to the hospital. A proper checkup. And then it's at that point parents begin to tell you things in confidence. The moment you start calling them, you are observing this seizure. And that's a very, very key medical problem that they did not declare in the form. Okay? So the child carries it and not. So as long as you change the right, it will recommit the next lesson. But we will make up. When the parents come for it, and they just say, Mommy, please, when you get this shoe and help your son walk around with it. Yeah, I know you continue to work. But here I never get, come on, babe. But it won't be me as a teacher that will tell you. It's the head of school, the person in charge. Because you see, when you are dealing with children with challenges, you need to put yourself at the other end of the table. No parent, every parents with a child with disability know their child has a problem. When you now call them and tell them, it's not just a slap, it's like a confirmation that there's something wrong with this child. And there's an inner fear already. Nobody wants to be told that their child has a problem. Nobody wants to be told. So for me, as a person that went to my children's school, my son's school, to say my child has a challenge, they will tell me, "I'm not going. Keep quiet. You don't talk like that." It's a neighbor. And then I remember when the boy entered secondary school, and I went to the teacher to say, "Please, what are the things that you have going here? I would like to see." The man, after I spoke to him, one day, I want to almost 30 square issue. And from there, I told myself, my boy will not attend this school. When I got to my told my husband, I said, "Well, school here. Everybody is not like that." I said, "I don't like negative people. See, I won't cause professor. We are talking about GS3 school. School only. They are presenting them for GS3 exam. Maybe I came to school day one to say I have a challenge. And the principal said, "You should have come straight to them. Do I know you?" She went in my reception at the money. I don't have any lady. Ẹ kàn bí ajé ọmọ mi fọdún mẹ́ta. Kí láwa ṣe sí báyìí? Àwọn ràn lọ́wọ́. Kẹ́kẹ́ I just went to the school to when the English teacher called me that there's a problem. I can I got 28%. And I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to tell the school. I said, "I'm coming." I went to the school. I said, "I want to see the person." I said, "Sir, I just have 3 questions for you." Just three. He said, "Madam, please go ahead." I said, "Are you aware of learning disabilities?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Are you aware that there might be children in your school with learning disabilities?" He said, "Yes." "What are you doing about them?" I said, "Madam, please sit down." Take the phone, called 4 other people, say, "Meet me in my office right now." They okay, any development, any kind of way, private school, and we have physical that have a whole lot of bread, and any okay, they HOD, any kind. How many of you know this woman? What shall I we know her boys are clinical, this one is clinical. Do you know this particular one that is studying? Yes. Or what can you say? Man, it's very dedicated, it's hard working, it's clinical, but I'm sorry. Because àfi bíi pé wọ́n sọ pé ọmọ kò yóò ní challenge. Mo fẹ́ ní àfi bíi pé ọmọ kò yóò ní challenges. Mo fi wé ṣeré látijọ́ tí mo ti bí. Ìgbà tó ń lọ sí preschool ẹ̀dọ́ ni, "Let's eat." I will do my assignment first. I will do my assignment tó gbogbo wa ti di sí. So èèyàn kò lè sọ fún mi pé kò kàwé ni. Even the teacher in school say he does not miss classes, he is very attentive, he is in so the man now said, "Madam, so what do you think?" He said he's dyslexic. Ẹnìkan ní owó ènìyàn báyìí, class teacher tó nà rí lórí kó fail exam. Wọ́n lọ jà school ọkọ̀ mi ní Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Because my question is, ọmọ fail kò nà. I don't have any problem. Did you give him the opportunity to do it again? After beating him, then you should give him an opportunity to do it again. Then we will see whether there's a difference. And my husband said, "Just leave them, go back." Let's say it's dyslexia. And then the principal said, "What's the solution for dyslexia, Mrs. Additional? HOD English. And then we encourage them to keep reading." You can't encourage him. He's reading already. When the principal was saying, they just spent 300,000 to trace her on learning disability. They were disappointed. At this point, all you can do is intervention. I'm sorry I'm digressing. All you can do is intervention at this point. And you will call people, we will call him. How do you get your exam? That was what I said. And they called him, said, how do you want your environment? He said, no, no teacher should stand around him. And they won't be able to write it there. This is what it says, invigilators are around. And you should make sure no student speaks during the session. That's just how you can help him. But there's nothing we can do at this point. Because dyslexia is about language. You don't write correctly. Ẹ ti ráwọn fẹ́ fún níwèé pé káwọn. Every nǹkan mi ni òun kà. It's a disability. Òun náà ó rí. Ó rí ẹ̀rọ òkè. Ẹ̀rọ mi lọ. Because the letters don't add up. So they call BD, they call MN, they use it interchangeably, M and N. So when they want to say math, they can write math. You have them in workplaces. They should go one way. The letters don't add up. That is why in the Western world, they do computer exam. Because the computer will autocorrect. So I told them, I said, I came before. You told me that my own was now you don't want a child to fail. Because it will be minus on your school, you're running around. And they give you all the help He's a Redeemer's University. When he got to the university, he said, Mommy, should I take disability for? I said, take it. Don't let anybody destroy your life and score. Take disability for. There's nothing wrong with you. And God is giving you. It's nothing to be ashamed, but it is difficult when you call your parents. Money, when you take money, a parent said it to me about him. And then that day, as I walked out of the school, I told the student, I said, we're not coming out. He said, I'm only one teacher, one teacher. Maybe it was with you at that time. I want you to take one teacher. So you can see how important you are. Your presence, your environment in the life of your child. You don't look at a child and judge the child as soon as he walks in. Alright? So the environment is very key. So I just got a few things just to see if we can fill up these spaces. But if not, we will talk about how to fill them. These are materials. And then you can begin to wonder, because they are practical life. By the name, practical life, it's making sense. Things that they do every day. You want your child to write well when they start holding the pencil. Let them start spooning exercises. When your child is sitting and he holds his phone like this, help him to hold it properly. Because this is how you will eventually hold his pencil. So those little things is what whoever you are training will come away with. The others who are coming in don't see it. They say, I all of those things are adding up to the physical development of the child, which will eventually affect his posture. We have a very simple exercise in the classroom. We call it walking on the line. And I'm going to close this session with it because I like to do it because a lot of adults fail it. We say walking on the line. Now, we have seen a lot of, and this is how the exercise is in the anyway. Okay, so it depends on how, or because we're adults. Okay, so let's leave it this way. So we call it walking on the line. Now you look at that exercise and say, what is the big deal? Walking. If all not is shaking, that only. But you know there are people who don't walk well. You know there are people who don't walk well. And you say, hold on, shake down, hold on, shake down. But it's because they are not careful about their posture. And adults, and when you have a child, our parents, they have a way of You know people who stand and they have a way of putting you back to shape somehow. But one or more shape you show value. You understand? So when a child comes to class and you're doing walking on the line, say, look at the line. Children, you need to look at me. I'm going to walk on this line. And I'm going to come back. And I want you also to walk on the line. Now you will notice that the way I carry my leg, each leg is going in front of each other. Is a line. Are you getting me? So the child comes back, and then I'm still like that. I'm looking down, and then I come here. The next exercise will be you don't look down. When I see that the master working on you, you won't look down, you look up ahead at people. So, and that's one of the most difficult things. Even as adults, you will shake. Okay, and then you come back, and then you walk. Child, when a child learns to walk like this, she's walking with consciousness. And sometimes some people say we sharp, but he has gone through a lesson in class that you don't just walk anyhow. You are going there and you are walking like, there are children like that. But it's an exercise in class because I have set up a lot of these. They are breakables. I don't want any damage to my materials. I don't want to cut because if you destroy anything in class, the parents will replace it. I'm not charging you for this. It's a very, and after that, you now do another one. Carry a tray. Okay, there's a tray. Sorry. You carry an empty tray, and after an empty tray, you will carry something in it. After doing this, you will put water in it, so that when you tell the child to serve, you are confident that this child, if all things being equal, there should be no accident. But they are all age appropriate exercises. Meaning, so I'm actually for fun. Try to work up to I'm also an infant, we call them infant toddlers. They also have their class, and they have all of these materials to do themselves. Are you getting me? So there are so many. So that we're going to end it like that. I've shown you the exercise. Let's end this session like that so that I can begin that decorating assignments. Okay? So that's just about fun. I don't know if you have questions before we do this exercise. Anybody wants to ask any? Please ask questions. Any question? No. All right. Okay.
And also, you know, there are some take for example, there is a child education
Any child.
Early child education. You know, fine. Like Jam gave me education money. There are some people that they give a course and they are doing it. What of I want to ask that you know there are some teachers that can be cranky, you understand that they can be it's not as if they do it intentionally, that's just their kind of person. And they find themselves under that post. And maybe one way or the other, when they graduated, they want to start something in the church. How can they do it that it won't affect the children, like their own personality?
It will affect children. It will affect children, and teachers like that need a lot of emotional intelligence courses. First to deal with themselves, then to be able to relate. The head of school might pull them out of the classroom. They might be good administrators. They might be good with paperwork. If the head of school is also patient to see how else can we use this person. But if it's with children, I caught a woman one day. I was the head of school, and she was, you know that big deal woman. So when I said, how dare you say my that is my son? I said, the more reason why I don't ever want to see you do it again. If you can do this to your child, you can do it to anybody. and I started watching. And I don't do it to other children. Ruler, igi. So people with behavioral issues, ó lè má mọ̀ how to help himself. Because you see, in this part of the world, we don't do um, we don't I don't know how to put it. Kì í put name to certain things. Òyìnbó ló máa rí èèyàn tó máa ní ẹni wá autistic. Ẹ̀rọ alẹ́ ọmọ tó wà restless ẹgbẹ́ nílé ìtẹ̀ kì í sùn. Ó lè jẹ́ kó ní ADHD, attention deficit disorder. But you know in Nigeria, about Africa, ní ọlọ́run ọmọdé, wèrè wọn ni àyàmọ́ ti wèrè dìsì, la máa fi ṣe. Some people are really struggling with some behavioral issues. You're not sure. But if you find people like that, you say they love children, you have to pay attention to them. Otherwise, you're not sure. Really, you know, they may think they are correcting yes for a child. And that's why for me, in any school, when I work with people who want training, I say you don't use cane, don't beat. I'm the only one who has the right to beat. And you can do our own defense. So I don't want to see training in your class. Yes, the teacher below will beat. It's me, I'm the phone daily. Why is here? W2 kind of job. I've been appealing to ask him to maybe she should follow you to our office. So people have issues. And that is why the people that work with children, they can't be too loving. They have to be loving. But I will say let them be fair. Let them be fair. So that they're able to give control to the child. Not, Lucy doing yellow. You understand? Any other question? Yes, brother.
I have two questions.
You have to only. Alright.
Okay, so my question is, my sister teaches in a primary school, and they also have a policy of not beating. And there's this troubled child, even all the way from where she is. I know the child's name. Now, no beating, no such discipline. Because it seems that some of those children use it as a leverage. And some of them misbehave intentionally. So how do you undo that? The second question is the setup for a Montessori. The setup is there a way to replicate it that you teach the parents to replicate it in the home so that it will not what they are learning it will be continuous. So
I understand. Let me start from that second question. In communities or societies where they are exposed, like Discovery House where I taught last in Lagos, parents will personally request that you should come and set up their environment. Are you getting me? Parents will know. For example, if a child is struggling with a particular area, a parent, our own parents are not tired or not because you see some of these materials are expensive, in fact a lot of them, but they are willing to set up their environment. They separate a room and they say come and set it up. Not because they want to teach it, but so the child has an opportunity to continue at home. Now, the thing with Montessori teaching is when we teach, especially when we teach the sounds or we teach math or any of the curriculum area, we tell you not to teach it. Why? Because, for example, many of us know the sounds, the letter sounds. Okay. What is this? Say it loud. Say it, be confident. Who else wants to try? You see what she called it? This is called. So we don't want you to interfere with what we're teaching. We say don't teach it. Unless you want to come and learn. I give you maybe 5 minutes. This is how to say it. Or I do a recording and say, okay, this is. No, say it again.
No.
Say it. Is there a difference? Okay, she has said it. You say it. Now listen to how we say it, whether there's a difference. Is there a difference between the two? There's a difference. Because in Yoruba, especially in the southwest, we have the H factor. So the H factor is house. My house. Have you? I want to eat. His. How are you? So we have the H factor. And it is not house. It is not, not, no. So, I'm not teaching language. So that's about that. Then, so you can actually encourage parents who are willing to spend. Although it's not that they will have everything. For example, if it's practical, like they have these things
Already.
stored up as wedding gifts, but they don't want to touch it. I don't know who they want to give. Even they are not using it. They have them at home, and they will just set up for children to be able to work with and see. Then for the first one, discipline. You see, children, yes, they can take advantage. But it will depend on two things. The teacher himself, and two, and their rules. And their rules. You see, classroom rules are better made together as a group.
Okay.
The teacher does not make it by himself. The teacher can only say, okay, if you pee on yourself, what is the consequence? Not what is the punishment.
The whole class agree.
The whole class will agree. Everybody who pees on himself goes to the naughty corner or the thinking chair. We don't call it naughty corner because we are not expecting any child to be naughty. So we'll give you a chair. You can think. You can think for 3 days. Each time there is an outdoor game, you are thinking. No child wants to listen. A child did frustrated by life. Frustrated by life. And I said, how can I deal with this? And I took him to outdoor. For outdoor. Very active. And I said, sit down.
Ah.
Then you watch everybody. Miss Ola, what did I do? I said, I know what you did. Can you remember? Was it when? Was it when? I said, yes. I'm much more. But you sit down. Right. He was sweating. I will not do it again. I said, I will do it again. I will not. Yes, sir. Because it won't. You see, the thing with rules is, if you break it, there is a consequence. So it will be foolish of me as a teacher to be lenient on the consequences because I'm not going to beat you. It's not, the consequence is not cane. It is something we all agreed together on. There are some teachers who will write it. But for preschoolers, I say during your circle time, let's talk about rules for the day. And we are positive about it. It's not, I will not beat anybody. I'm going to be kind to my friend today. I'm going to walk. I'm going to use my walking feet, not running feet. To run my different you can avoid myself. But instead, I'll use my walking feet. I'm going to carry my materials nicely. I already have picture cards that makes it easier. I'm going to take turns today. Okay? That's because no material in Montessori classroom is two, is one. So if two people want to use it, you will have to take turns. And if that child doesn't finish working with it until the bell rings, on my mind to create it at the school. And the moment I need to be in school at 7 to 1. Why? Because I say material, I'm not able to use this week because people are getting them before. So it's rules that you give. You see, then for children who are intentionally naughty, they have they have very good way of teaching them. Let me give you one. This child was really is a naughty, constantly naughty boy. So the mother came to pick him. And I went to the mother and said, I told him he will not be going home today because he will be on this. So, madam, please say your goodbye and go and stay downstairs. When he comes and call you. So the woman said, your teacher says you'll be naughty today and you're not going home. Well, Mr. Ola, when should I come back from? I said, tomorrow. This time tomorrow will be fine. It's okay. I'm going home. And he said, no, mommy, I'm going with you. The woman said, go back. He said, you started the African market yesterday. Go ni ma fi ń to máàpù níbi tẹ́mi gan mọ́dé. I said, don't work with it if I will not show you. Work with only what you are doing. What you lost in I was actually putting for phonetics. I was actually trying to look for Sudan. Let me show you Sudan. I actually do not know Sudan. Actually, I said, and then you scattered the entire map. I said, I went to called two of his friends. They started. When it was time to go, this one said, look, I'm only Sabah. Then but Mr. Farid, Mr. I'm going to try my best. I said, please continue. So the mother came. I saw the effort. I delayed it. I made sure it was the only one left in class. Then after, I told him, you can't finish that one today. Even I cannot finish it today. So what are we going to do? Promise I'll continue tomorrow. Your mom has done. Please call me to come back. Please call me. But we already have an agreement. I promise I will not touch them until I say that. You paid to touch your parents paid. You should work with the material. But you are not showing me. So you know I'm not showing you. You know I'm not showing you. So after I read the next time, I thought it was sick. Because even I was listening. I would say, Farid, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. Have you worked with any material today? Yes. I worked with those who are showing me. For me, we don't get out of home. But each time I tell him, do you want your mommy to pick you on time? So for me, I don't believe in two personally. So it's informed my own attitude to children. But there's no child that God has not given me the key to. Because first thing I do when I enter the class, you will be amazed. I enter the class because I'm usually around 6 a.m. in this school. So I enter my class, I say, today, I command the spirit of fight to obey me in Jesus' name. I'll go to their tables. And that's the difference. Because for me, I know I have something I can use other than keep. So I bring them all. I put them in the hands of God. Commanding them to be calm, to be obedient, to understand when I teach them. Because there are children also who are struggling, like I know that they need help. It's beyond the schoolwork. So I hope that answers your question. Alright, thank you. You have more? No. Okay. Mommy, we want to do our practical. Mommy, don't tell me. Mommy, don't tell me. Let's do our practical. You're welcome. Yes, we'll be working on it. Yes. We'll be working on it. Yes. Everybody's yes. You will walk looking down. Let's pay attention. You walk looking down. See that it's one leg at a time. Your hands beside you. You walk walking down. And then you turn. And walk. Still look down. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be too slow. Okay? So the third time, you now look straight at the camera. Okay? Okay? Did I do it? So I'm going to look straight again. You see, Chairman for prayer, yeah. Shepherd. Turn back. Still look down. Ṣẹ̀rí pé ṣẹ́ni fọmọdé. Ṣẹ̀rí pé ṣẹ́ni fún ọmọdé. Yes. You are. It's like they're counting. Yeah. What normally? Normally, you won't let it go around. Okay. Mommy. Yeah. What were the practice days of it? Let's go with it. Yeah. This man. Yes, mommy is looking up now. Oh, that's good. Well done, ma. That's a good one. Ah, you can see now. Now when you are teaching children, you don't get theology. What you have done, ma? And look down.
Yes, ma'am.
I like the way you're walking. You see? Beautiful. Beautiful. Good job. Okay, now look at it around. Great job. One more time. Fantastic. Madam, all right, thank you everyone for your attention. Look, I appreciate that. There is a school that this is how all the children come in. They walk on the line to their yes, to just start work. Good job. Okay, you. Nice. Great job. Well done. So thank you everyone for your
Auntie Lara.
okay, bring your baby. You know, Elatin. This is how she started working. Okay. All right, thank you.
I'll try my own.
Okay. You want to try? You're welcome. Great job. Great job. Very fast. Yes. Okay. Come to your camera.
Good job.
But you know, no child can be this fast. It's good. Okay. And that's going to teach them to be careful. The way they walk around the classroom. All right. they help the child coordinate. Okay, apart from independence, you want the child to be coordinated. So they help the child to, putting things together. So it's always good there's a basket that is just standing in the corner. Okay, but for all of these ones, you really want to see, oh my God, oh my God, I need to, you really want to see, oh my God, I hear different things you put in their practical life. Okay, scooping. Scooping is just to put maybe rice here and the child can scoop because you are working on their fine motor, their ability to handle things, grip, their pincer grip, these three fingers, the pincer grip, then the fact that the bones of the hands are working regularly helps to fine tune the hand, and eventually most of these activities is to prepare them for future academic work, the holding of the pencil. For example, the spooning. If you notice a child in class is eating like this or at home, then you put so what I did was these are value more seed for how many years now? So when I look at value more, I keep it. Okay. So when you are doing spoon, you are value more kumbi, culture zoom for kumbi. So the child, you have a bowl full of agbaluma you are giving a 3-year-old child. Only 30 minutes she. One layer of left to right is how they are going to write. Left to right. So when he finishes, that's what okay, pass it. You don't do this in front of children. So when he finishes, the child will carry it, put the phone down. Because there's something that Montessori teaches order. There's a way to do things. So it's common with everybody. The child, oh my God, you just swing in corner and she don't do it. You leave him alone. That's what he's comfortable with that day. However, as you move along, if you discover that he's not going past that, then there might be other issues that the child is dealing with. He might be afraid of challenges. So he doesn't want to move. He has seen you working on some other things. He doesn't want that one. Is this one? Whenever he comes, he goes straight for this one. Meanwhile, you've shown him other activities that he can do, but he's comfortable with that. So I remember a child that I observed like that, now called the parent. And then the mother said, if you told them only so can stay at 4 going to 5. So I just said they should watch out. She might be afraid of taking on challenges, new challenges in life, and then they have found it. So that's like spooning from left to right. There's something else I brought. I think I brought. I don't think I brought. I thought I brought a tweezer. The tweezer is also another instrument, medical instrument, different kinds of tweezers anyway. There are so many teaching materials that are used in the classroom, like the turkey basta. Turkey basta, you should have it in the catering. You use it to extract yolk.
Yes.
It's a material in class where the child transfers water from one side to the other. Squeezing is a material where you find the child is weak or is afraid to use the pencil, and the child is already maybe over 3 years old. Then the child begins to work with the sponge exercise. You soak sponge in this bowl, carry it, and squeeze it out, just so to strengthen the bones of the finger. Okay? So there are so many things. From the moment you observe a child might be, there are so many exercises you can begin to involve the child in. Maybe it's not coordinated, and you do work on the line, carry tray, carry your chair, carry table, and the likes. So many things. We're just going to do a little bit so that it looks. And then I brought some of my animals, model animals. These are language, although they are cultural, but they are language material that you can show a child. This is a lizard. Lizard. So over time, the child looks at it and say, "What is it? Lizard." So there are naming exercises that would help the child eager to come to school every day, and then invite parents can then invite more parents. Ah, I think you should bring your child to Baptist. I don't know what the name of this place is. Do you have a name? What's the name? What's the name of this place?
Fresh.
No, fresh. Be fresh. It doesn't have a name. No, you should have a name. What's the name, man?
Macarizo.
This city or your French? This city. You can have a name. You can have a name, not just this city. All right. You can have a name. If I think of any, I will suggest. But you can, these are geography, cultural materials, but good for teaching. Anyone that is strange, that is not real, you don't use it. Because I'm sorry, I would rather bring, what is this called again?
No, that's not Kuma.
This purple egg. Can you call egg? I will look at it online. So whatever object that is not real, don't show a child. Don't show a child because this is okra, for example. If you tell a shady or there's no okra as big as this, which means the child's mind is working. I've never seen an okra that is as big as this. Then you can say, okay, it's a model. It's just to show you that this is what okra looks like. But this is, you can come with real objects in class. I think this is peanut, granite. I think so. I don't know what okay. It looks like cauliflower, and I have another one that looks more real. This is cabbage, right?
Yes.
This is what? What is this?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we call it. But it's actually called cucumber. Cucumber. It's not cucumber. It's actually called cucumber. Cucumber. So in the classroom, you have to pay attention to that. You don't look at children as children. And those of us who may have the SH factor, if they can't work on it, don't employ them to work with children. Don't employ them. The day my daughter came to class and called I went to the school. And I said, I want to see a class teacher. And he's an Igbo woman. I requested that the class change the date. In my house. I won't take it. Because that's not what it's called. It's not that I'm running the person down. But one thing I tell people who have accent is that they can improve it. Instead of watching Nollywood on their phone, Netflix, let them listen to how things are called. There are better ways of using the phone than all the nonsense TikTok that you are doing everywhere. Alright? So you have to know the name before you teach the child. Okay? And if the child asks you, what is this? If you don't know, you say, I'll find out and I'll tell. Don't say I don't know it. I say I'll find out about it and I'll tell you about it tomorrow. But you can also find out. Maybe you'll teach me. But only your language so that Omoye will not lose contact. She doesn't know a lot of things. And only my teacher does not even know. They'll go home and say it. But it's not that you are lying, but you're just saying, oh, that. I'm going to find out what it's called. Can you also find out and let's talk about it? So we will start work now, paperwork, which